All right, let's just start right away while we wait for others to join us. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to everyone that has joined this call. This is going to be max an hour session, but I want to believe for every businesses that has joined, it's going to be a very amazing session for all of us. Today, we just want to discuss something very pivotal to the growth of any business. The tide has changed over the years, and it's very important that we change with the tide and ensure we pick what can position us for the future as a business leader. By the way, at the end of my session, we're going to have 10 to 15 minutes of questions, and then we're going to provide answers to them. So we are discussing the power of analytics, the businesses that will thrive in 2026 and beyond. How does analytics affect business in today's world? And that is what we are going to be, discussing extensively today. Let me start with this powerful story of MoneyPoint and Trade Depot before I share my screen. Now, from the story of MoneyPoint, MoneyPoint was like a consultant to banks a few years ago, maybe like a decade ago. Can't really be specific now, but they were like a consultant to the banking sector, meaning they were handling the back-end infrastructure for banks. But something changed. They started looking at the numbers driving the back-end infrastructures that they were doing for the banking sector. They've been doing this for years. They just said one day, let's look at the numbers we are churning out. How does it speak? What is the number saying? And that's where analytics come in. So they went ahead and looked at the analytics of the customers of these institutions and discovered that these guys, although they look small, like a small SME, they look like a business that will not be able to do much. But on a daily, if we look at their daily transactions, they are doing a lot of volume. And then they discovered that, yes, these kind of businesses have had one major challenge, which is to be able to get loans from banks, because banks, as at then, see them as people that will not be able to pay back or something, or they are not eligible for such amount of volume they are requesting for. So what did they do? They analyzed that and discovered that these guys can actually request for this volume of money, and they will be able to really pay back. And that was the beginning of the MoneyPoint we all know today. From just the rudiment work they do, they moved to analytics, and then they allowed analytics to speak for them. And then the analytics speaking now shows that, yes, we can actually launch out loans, launch out schemes for these guys and give them money, and then expand their market, and then in return we can get our profit. And that was the model. That was the turning point, which is why I'm sharing this story. The power of analytics, the businesses that will thrive. Today, MoneyPoint is in the top 3 of fintechs in Nigeria. In fact, data has it that they are the first unicorn amongst all the fintechs. I think so, yeah, in Nigeria. And I was reading about one of their staff 2 years or less thereabout, and the amount in shares that he has to pull out, a young man. So it means the narrative of a business, the trajectory of a business can change with one good decision. The trajectory of a business can change with one good decision, and that was what changed the story of MoneyPoint. And today, we all celebrate them. Now, another story I want to share with you is that of Trade Depot. I've worked with a company that does similar thing with Trade Depot, which is B2B e-commerce company. Trade Depot is also a B2B e-commerce company. But they did something differently. Because I could remember I even ran analysis about Trade Depot, then I was like, what are they doing differently that we're not doing? But recently I got to know what they were doing differently that made them win the market of the B2B business. They started running analytics that looks at the consumption of their businesses, of the businesses they serve. For example, let's say we deliver to a business 10 cartons of Indomie today, and in the next 2 months was when they came back. Then again, we delivered to them. In the next 2 months was when they came back. So they looked at that trend and discovered a trend of how much sales they make and when they get depletions. So meaning they send notifications to these businesses even before they come to them and say, we need goods. They understand, they know when the business stock is about to go down by analytics. And that was the difference. So imagine someone just calling you, oh, I know your stock is almost done. I think you need to restock. Imagine how you feel that, oh, this person have me in mind. They do have me in mind, and they are thinking about me, and you love them. And that was the model, the power of analytics. And this has been the trend for businesses that will do well. Now AI is in the space which is making a lot of difference. And it is very important as business owners to harness the power of analytics. Trust me, this is just something to stir us up as we start the session. But these are stories that should, motivate you to know that in 2026 and beyond, only businesses that can harness the power of analytics will survive the times ahead. And like I said in the post I made, this session is not just for business owners. Even as employees, even as staff of companies, thinking from the standpoint of analytics will go a long way in helping us shape the growth of that company, also bringing value to that company, because now you know the end goal. You ask the right question: where is this company going to? What is the end goal? What is the target for this year? And then from there you can draw inferences that can change the trajectory of that company. And on that note, I'm going to be sharing my screen to show us what I've prepared for this session today. And I believe it's going to be worth it for us all. All right, on my slide there, just my first page, 5 things that businesses must do differently to thrive in 2026 and beyond. So, very in a short while, the way the session is going to go is I'm just going to call us intermittently just to be sure we're on the same page. So please, you can just go to the comment section when I asked some maybe questions or trying to get our activity. Just say I'm here, I understand, so that I know that we're on the same page. All right. I'm going to share another story again, and I want us to drop in the comment section what we learned from this story. This is the story of Mama T. They call her Mama T in Lagos. He has a store in Lagos. You can see she uses an older phone as of 2023. This was a story in 2023. And she said she does mental math to understand her business. So she's on her mental math, on her ledger, she can see that there's profit. But she never had cash. Where is this money going to? She wonders. Where is this money going to? But luckily, she had a son that was just coming out from the FSC. And the son, called Toby, in his 20s, said, okay, mommy, from my own knowledge of analytics, let me just build for you an Excel that just shows you end to end, day to day, how your business is going, how much you make, what is your profit like, what is the most moving goods, and all those metrics. And the son just prepared a simple Excel, and that simple Excel was the turnaround point. And in that Excel, she discovered that there was a particular product or item called import fish, a fish they import that requires very low temperature, which means they have to put on the fridge every now and then to ensure the survival and to ensure that the goods does not spoil, right? And that particular item is also expensive. So from that analysis, from that Excel, they discovered that, oh, we are even making a loss from this particular item. That was the first thing she got to realize. First, it's expensive. Secondly, it requires low temperature, meaning we are going to spend much money on electricity. And then from that analytics, Toby advised, let's stop this product. One other thing she realized was only let me put it this way. 60% of our sales was coming from just 5 customers. Amazing, right? 60% of our sales was coming from just 5 customers. And then the customers that have been buying on credit are amongst the 40%. Imagine 60% of all your revenue is coming from just 5 loyal customers. And she had like 15 customers that are always giving her issues with credit. I will pay later, I will pay later, I will pay later, I will pay later. And these 15 customers are in the bottom 20%. So what did she do? All she needed to do was to cut off, what's it called now? Giving out loans, giving out on credit to those 15 customers, and then focused on the 60% are giving 60% of the revenue, focus on them, look at what they purchase, and discover that they love chicken. And then she will increase the import of, she stops, like you can see on my screen, she stops the import of that particular fish, and then fully to local chicken, and so that it reduces spoilage. And then, of course, she increased the sale of that chicken that those 5 customers want, and then even also give them discount. And then, of course, she's cutting on cost because she has stopped the importing of that fish, and of course, stopped the credit that she was doing for those 15 customers giving her issues on credit. What was the turnaround? You can see that now she's happy, she can smile now, and she has cut down on the stressful debtors by 80% and reduced bad debt spikes. This is an amazing story, and I want us to just drop in the comment, what did you learn personally? What interests you about this story before I continue? So I'm going to stop sharing, and then I will come back to my screen. What interests you about this exciting story? You can just drop in the comment section. I want us to make it interactive so that, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, maybe I should start with Mr. Franco. Can you just drop in the comments, oh, this is one particular thing that interests me about this story, in the comment section. Tosin, Mary, I think I saw another person join not too long. Can we have that in the comment before I continue? Or just say something. Oh, interesting. I love this story. So that I know that we are here, so that I know that we are following, so that okay. Yeah, true. Oh, I love that take, Mary. Mr. Franco said data can unlock a business feature. Absolutely, absolutely. Just by the intervention of Toby, the son to Mama T, there was an unlocking of what was hidden. And then the fact that you really don't need two more customers, you need active customers. That's very profound. You need active customers. That's the word. So you need active customers. You need to unlock your data, your base, your business with data, and that is where the future is heading to. And I'm going to show us in few slides now why it is very important to position ourselves as entrepreneurs, even as employees of companies, so that we can win and win well. All right. Now, let's go to the next slide. So, like I said, I'm going to be discussing 5 things that businesses must do to differently to thrive in 2026 and beyond. And the first thing I wrote here is have a data-driven mindset. Now, everything starts from the mindset. Even the Holy Book said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So the first thing is have that data-driven mindset. And that takes me to the story of my wife. You know, when she started her business, at a point she said, I'm just going to go and look for unemployment outside and, start looking for employment. I'm not sure this business is going to pay me. And then I called her. I said, have you really analyzed? Okay, let's say, for example, you are going to get a job of 250, 300,000. Have you really analyzed and know that this business is not giving you that? And he said, yes, this is it. I said, okay, no problem. This is what we'll do. Just, I'm going to help you create a model and a model in Excel where you can enter your data and look at day to day how your business is doing. And then let's run that pilot for 3 to 4 months. Let's see how much you make. Let's see how much is your cost price, and let's see your margin in the month, and let's see if it is more profitable or not. And lo and behold, after that 3 months, she discovered that she was making making way more than she predicted. And that was why she just abandoned the idea of going to look for a paid employment. That so this can really pay me much. So having a data-driven mindset makes a lot of difference. And by the words of Peter Drucker, he said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that speaks to data. If you really want to create the future you want for your business, or even as a consultant, or even as someone that is helping businesses make sense, or even as an accountant, be it any course, be it any profession, be it any career path, data-driven mindset is going to make you stand out. Now, in few moments, I'm going to share with us some interesting stories. But first thing here is to drive out that have a data-driven mindset. That is the first thing. A data-driven mindset is when anyone speaks to you and say, okay, my business is not going well. The first thing you look at is, oh, what is the mindset? Data-driven mindset. From the data standpoint, what is this saying? If someone is saying my social media is not growing, is a business saying my social media, I'm not getting traction. You want to say, okay, what is the data saying? Not just, oh, bringing suggestions from around the world and from people and say, oh, someone tried this, I think it should work for you. No, it's talking based off what data can give. And that is a data-driven mindset. So the first thing as for a business that will thrive in 2026 is to have a data-driven mindset. And it has shown, hypothetically by studies that organizations with mature data practices achieve 23 times higher customer acquisitions and even make 19 times greater profitability. So these are data-backed proofs that as a business have a data-driven mindset. Now that moves me to the next slide. And this next slide is critical for me because it talks about having a culture where every decision is data driven. Having a culture where every decision is data driven. And with this, I'm going to be sharing two stories. Build a culture where every decision is data driven. Now, I once worked for a very big company some years ago, and I did not even know the extent of the impact I made with that solution I built for them. I built a solution, by the way, for them. I never knew it had an impact. It was when I wanted to quantify the level. I knew it had an impact, but I didn't know it to that level. So when I wanted to qualify and say, okay, what's even the impact of this solution, automation solution I built? And then I walked up to my line manager then, and he said, this solution saved us over $1 million. Amazing, right? It saved us over 1 million. I said, what? So what I've just built saved us $1 million. I said, okay, how come? How? Then he now started breaking it down that, do you know that we spent so number of hours to do this before? And we pay this kind of people this so amount because it's a very big company. So the staff are well paid. So we pay them this amount. Some of them work overnight, we pay them this amount. And again, it saves us a lot of cutting cost on some things that we use, some tools, even some staff, ad hoc staff that we need to just come bring in to ensure we close out on time. You do know that it has saved us all that, and that was when we evaluate all that, it brings us to over $1 million. I said, wow. Now imagine for a business what that would do. Literally, what that means is that you have added over $1 million to whatever profit you made for that year. So let's say you made just $100,000 or 100,000 naira, and you've saved by data automation, by building a data-driven solution, you saved 100,000 naira, and you made a profit of 100,000 naira. That's by saving that 100,000 naira, you've turned your profit from 100,000 naira to 200,000 naira in the space of in the twinkle of an eye. As simple as that is. So that's the power of analytics. That's the power of data-driven decision, building a culture of data-driven decision. And since then, built a lot of solutions like that, and it has scaled the business. Now imagine a business making on 200,000 instead of 100,000. You know, they can expand. Meaning data-driven decisions bring about expansion of that business. Of course, the staff too get benefit from that profitability, better lifestyle for the staff. The CEO is also, you know, at peace, no stress. You are calm. You are not running a tasketa to know where can I get this number? How do we? You are not running a tasketa. And do you know that we have over, like I said, over 40 million SMEs in Nigeria as of today? And I know you must have heard, and if you have not heard, the average expectancy, life expectancy of Nigerians is 54.5, the lowest in the whole world. And if you agree with me, you see that one of the reasons for this is stress. Every business, small business owners will want to be at the store in the morning. What is happening there? I want to know what is happening. Oh, how much have you made? Oh, where did this? A lot of loopholes. I've heard of a business in Ibadan that it's just a cosmetic store, and the owner of that business lost about 10-15 million thereabout from just one customer. I have visited a man that is in the production of all these plastics in Amuwo Odofin, and he recorded that one staff alone ran away with over 100 million naira from him. And that was the reason why he called me through his cousin. I said, I need to automate, I need to unlock this. Where is this missing? So these are areas that data-driven culture will help you, fix. You're able to see the loopholes before they come because data is real time. You are seeing from your dashboard, you are seeing from your reports every day. Oh, this is where we are. This is what we've done here. Even for people that can afford it, there are IoT trackers that can also track your vehicle, look at where they are, look at how much fuel. You can even, track how much fuel you should be spending. So someone cannot just tell you, yeah, there is traffic. You know if there's traffic, you know how much average time it takes to move from point A to point B. You are making data-driven decisions. So another thing for a business that will survive in 2026 and beyond is to build a culture where every decisions are data-driven. The first thing I mentioned was what? Can someone help me in the comment section? I won't go back to that slide. Let me see if we're following. Can someone? Exactly. The story help us show that working with Excel help knows where the portals are. Yeah. So can someone help me with the first point? What was the first point that I mentioned in the course of this session? Anyone can still remember? Just in the comment section, you can just drop that. Okay. That is not an issue if I don't remember. But I said have a data-driven mindset. Have a data-driven mindset. That's the first thing. Our mindset must be every time we are talking from the standpoint of data. Even as individuals, your social media, you shouldn't just be posting. Check the insights. Okay, how is it doing? Okay, what are the days I should be posting? You get insight as to when you should post. YouTube has that. If you have a YouTube page, there is a YouTube insight page. When you just go to your YouTube studio, you see the insight to understand how you should post. By the way, I did it from my YouTube channel. From my YouTube channel, when I was struggling with subscribers at some point, I went back to I downloaded the insight, analyzed it, and I discovered that I'm getting a lot of tractions from so kind of post and all that, right? And that was why I just intensified on that post. And yeah, still growing, but now I'm over 2,000 subscribers. Even yeah, when I have not really been so intense about it. So everything you do, your TikTok, your Instagram can give you analytics. Today, content creators charge companies based on the analytics of their business. They hire people that help them interpret their analytics. I was listening to one of the content creators. I said, I know how much of traction businesses get from me. So if I'm charging 2 million just to promote your product in my skit or in my content, is even little compared to the value you are getting. That is analytics. And I know you must have heard from a lot of content creators or creatives that will say that it's not even from them alone. You all know that, or let me just say, it is assumed that not all popular people are rich. And we've seen that in recent years. That you are popular does not mean you are rich. You agree, right? So it means there is a science behind you turning your popularity into money. And integral part of that science is analytics. Understanding the value. Analytics shows you the value that you bring as an individual on your creatives, on all that you've created, and then you can then exude that value and then exchange that value for money. Exchange the value for money. That yes, this is it. It's time to change the numbers. It's just like you talking to someone, okay, how much do you bring to the table? Say, no. Do you know that I'm the one that won this Olympics? Do you know that I'm the one that did this? Do you know I've scored against 5 clubs? Do you know I've scored against 15 clubs? Those are numbers. And you can say, no, based on these parameters, you have just done analysis of your profile. Based on these parameters, as a footballer, you cannot pay me this. And that's the same way it's done in football today. A Victor Osimhen or an Mbappe will say, oh, I've played for this, I've won that, I've, done this, I have this number of goals. And based on that analytics, they offer, they request for a particular amount of money. Even today, you see people. Do you know that in every of those clubs there are solid analysts behind the scene analyzing, oh, we cannot buy this player based on what they've analyzed. Based on analysis, they've seen that this person, this particular player, on average in 3 months has an injury. Oh, we cannot hire this person. It will give us issues. And if they go ahead and hire, they will see that it's because it's a trend, it's a pattern. So analytics is something we cannot do without in this century. And as a business, it is even more pivotal. All right. Yeah, that's that about my second point. And I also wrote here that yeah, modern data-driven SMEs, top 5%, are achieving 300% faster scaling than historical businesses by using automation to keep headcounts low while operating on thinner margins. All right. So we've seen that businesses now thrive and are even doing 300% faster scaling when they build a culture where every decision is data driven. And before I discuss about this third point, I shared a story in our last webinar about a business about 10 years ago I knew of thriving. But when I went back there, I see that nothing has changed. The woman has not evolved from the traditional way of doing things, and people have moved. This is the same thing that will happen to businesses that will overlook analytics and AI. You see in the next 5 years that a lot of businesses will die down because they cannot harness the power of analytics. And those that can do that, like I showed us about MoneyPoint, about Trade Depot, about a company I also consulted for, those are the companies that will stand the test of time. And for a business, for an individual like you, like me, to stand the test of time and win, it is important we position ourselves to be data driven. And that is why we're having this session, basically, to help businesses, to help individuals, that will help businesses make better decisions and be well positioned for what is ahead of time. Number three is invest in clean, trusted, and real-time data. The first thing is, first, have the mentality that any decision I'm making, it has to be driven by data. Have a mentality of data. Have that mindset. The second thing is build a culture, not just you, in your team as a business. Build a culture where nobody just comes to you and say, I want salary increase. No. You say, okay, what are your numbers? Okay, I've been able to move this company from A to B. I've been able to do this, and that. You get, nobody just said, oh, let's go and open branch in Abuja. No. What is the data? Can you show me the data that proves that we are ripe enough to go to Abuja? You know, you should be showing data about, oh, what is our margin? Okay, with our margin, what is our headcount? What is our average revenue per staff? All right. That shows, okay, if our average revenue per staff or average spend per staff is still very low, why do we want to go and increase our headcount? What is our amortization and demonetization? Where we are currently, have we been able to gain back the money we spent on our rent and all that? What is our growth potentials? What is the probability of us increasing our customers from 20 to 50 in the next 2 years? Because it is when your customers, you are not the one using the solution. It's when your customer increase that you can say, okay, yes, we have numbers. But you've not even done those things and you say, let's open another branch. So build that culture amongst your team. And the next thing is now to invest in clean, trusted, and real-time data. This is a very serious issue in almost all organizations currently. And it requires critical attention. I think this session is just for 30 minutes, 1 hour. So I really want to ensure we elapse that so that it doesn't time, because it's time out. And I want us to finish by 5:50, hopefully, so that we can have 10-minute question. So invest in clean and trusted and real-time data. So without data, you are just another person with an opinion. That is the words of Edward Deming. Without data, you are just another person with an opinion. An opinion don't move mountains. Opinions don't move business. Opinions don't change the trajectory of a business from 0 to 100. Only data-driven decision does. And one thing I've discovered in over close to a decade of my experience in analytics and data is most companies struggle with real-time. Do you know why? The reason is because most companies start talking companies of this world, with the exception of maybe companies like Microsoft. Most companies in Nigeria, almost all companies in Nigeria start with that. They are not starting with any analytics team, no data team. You just say, okay, let's start. Let's look at revenue first. Can we make profit? And in doing that, when the system now start expanding, they are still focused on revenue, profitability, and all that. It is when they now discover that, oh, we cannot manage this again. There are now problems. Let's trace it. Where are we getting problems? How can we scale? Then they now hire data people and say, okay, maybe consultant or hire as an employment. And then they now discover that the people they hired are struggling. Because when the structure is bad, no matter what you bring in, it is still going to be bad. And that is why you have to invest in clean, trusted, and real-time data. Clean data, meaning start hiring for data consultant, for data people from the beginning. If you are starting a business now, get someone that can help you with your data. Get someone that can structure your data architecture for you, and so that you can start on a clean and a good note, so that you can trust your data. Because if you are making decision with the wrong data, it's as good as you are not making any decision. It's as good as you are just deceiving yourself. So making decision with the right data is very important. Now, 83, I'm going to ask a question now. 83% of business says analytics has improved their decision speed, but only when data is trusted. So a lot of people, a lot of businesses also make decisions today, but they are making that decision on clean data. Now, in the comment section, what do you mean by clean data or unclean data? What can someone help me? Just tell me what you mean by clean data, unclean data. What does that mean? What does that mean? Mr. Franco.
Okay, an unclean data is a data that either have missing data, incomplete data, or some variables are not clearly stated. While a clean data is one that has all the features of a quality data. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was spot on. Right. A clean data is that one that, there are no missing fields. Even if there are missing fields, it's something you can fix, but there are no missing fields, basically. The data is not skewed. When I say it's not skewed, it's not as if you are trying to okay, that one would be on trusted data. So clean data is clean. You are not mixing where there should be name. You are not adding name and phone number with it. Where there should be phone number, there's phone number. Where there should be we have 15 minutes left. We need to rush up because I wouldn't want us to join again. So where there is phone number, there is phone number. Where there is name, there is name. Trusted data will be one that is trusted. Quality data, data of high quality, meaning is not skewed. In skewness, I mean is not biased. When you're supposed to gather 50 male, get opinion about Nigeria from 50 males, opinions about Nigeria from 50 females. You are now doing 100 or 80 males, 20 females. That is biased. So it's not trusted. We cannot trust that data based off what the requirement is. And then, of course, real-time data is the data that you can get real-time, maybe from IoT devices, from car tracker. When that's what happens. For example, for those that have watched the BTS behind the scene, you see that when that man was driving that car away, something just happened. The car just stopped. It's not as if it's faulty. That is IoT, Internet of Things, tracker in that car that gives you data and okay, this man is driving this car, then they can stop it. That data can be analyzed and can be used to trace cars. So that's intelligence of data as well. All right. And then the fourth one is embed analytics directly into your daily operations. Now, how do you do this? You ensure that your business is picking data. So how do you do this? You do this by ensuring that you are not just building those data platforms, you are creating like a trigger. Imagine that on your phone, you just receive a trigger and says, oh, your stock is almost finished. 5 stocks or 5 SKUs to finish this stock. You know, that's insight. You get that instant. Oh, your daily profit has dropped from the average of 10 to 8. That is insight. So you have to embed it so that it becomes part of you. And that was what I told you about Trade Depot. They're able to say, okay, we can send a signal to a company and say, yes, your stock is about to finish. I think it's time for to restock. That looks amazing. The customer will be like, wow, this will know that my stock is about to finish. Okay, let me restock. So that was how they're able to gain customers. So that's how you embed analytics into your operations. And then lastly, use AI and automation to scale smarter decisions. I think I don't need to talk much about this. AI is in the space. We have a lot of tools that can do a lot of stuff. Please, if at all you don't know how to use AI, learn to use all the AI tools. Now, AI is different from AI tools. AI tools are your ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and all that. Those are AI tools. But AI itself, it's a solution. Imagine building like Zapier. Now, Zapier is an AI solution that can help you automate, drop your email, send that email, respond to the email by itself, collect the report from the email, and send it to you via email. All right, or via text or via WhatsApp. That is AI solution. Like N8N, something that can automate every of your reports. You just go there and then it automates the report for you. There's one now when Claude is now integrated into the Excel, so that if you do something, let's say for example, you are someone that enters the name of people that visit your business every day. If you've done it for 2-3 times, you can train Claude to help you do it next time. So the third day, fourth day, you are not doing it yourself. Claude will just go there itself, enter that data, pull it from wherever you are pulling, enter the data, and then that's it. So that is AI itself. When AI, that's the AI solution. But tool, at least if you don't know how to use, you don't know how to build AI solutions, learn to use those tools to fast track your work, to write your mails. No one should be making spelling errors in mails again. No one should be dropping things that are not captivating again. AI can help you refine a lot of things. You can let AI be give it context so that it's speaking to you. Describe yourself and say, okay, maybe I'm the head of a business. As a business owner that is running a 5 to 10 staff business and has so numbers, can you help me structure this particular post so that it looks captivating and this and that? Drop it for ChatGPT and then it comes up with a creative idea for you and then you can refine it. All right. So because of our time, I've just written here that business winning in 20s are combining AI with automation. AI assisted BI reduces manual data preparation. That means less time preparing data and more time making decisions. Because of our time, I think we started a bit late. But those are the 5 points I want to talk about. Yes, first thing I talked about, I said these are the 5 things that businesses must do differently. The first thing is have that AI mindset. Data-driven mindset that every time you are thinking from the perspective of data as a business owner. Now, the next thing to do is to now build a culture that is majorly data-driven. Now, you have that mindset now amongst your team, everyone joining your team, be it from your clerk to the last person, build that culture where everyone makes decision by data. No one just come and sit in as the reception and say, okay, my own is just right. You should be able to enter that data and think about, okay, how many people do I even get in a day? And I'm getting a range of 10. Okay, this is the trend. I've been getting an average of 10 entrants into this company, into this hotel, into this business. How can we increase the number? You can give that insight to the business. The business can do whatever they want to do with it. Be it virtual assistant, be it anybody, you can always come up and bring that data culture. And the third thing I've also mentioned here is that invest in clean and trusted data. Don't start your business journey by yourself without data in mind. So have data mindset in mind so that you can gather the right data, the clean, trusted, and real-time data that can help your business become at least 83, be part of this 83% of businesses that say analytics has helped them improve decision speed. And then the third thing I mentioned here is to embed it. Don't just do this. Find a way to embed it into your day-to-day activities so that you can just send a mail, send a message. Your solution can just send a message to you. Oh, this stock are going down, and then you can make decision. And now finally ensure you use AI automation to scale and make smarter decisions. And of course, if you need all this as a business, Eagles Consulting, this is what we do. This is what we do best, and we can always help any business to unlock this and do this in the best possible way. I hope I've been able to bless us today. I hope this has been an amazing session for us. All right. So in few minutes, let me just entertain questions. Questions from anyone from what we've discussed.
Thank you very much. None from my end.
Okay. Any other person, any question before if there is none, at least I should be able to ask one question. But was it a very interesting session for you, Mr. Franco?
It was a great moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, where did you see the link? You joined from LinkedIn, from where? Mr. Franco, before I move to...
Most likely from LinkedIn.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, Tosin, anything you want to add? Any questions? Okay, so let me go ahead and ask my... Okay, go ahead.
None, sir. Nothing.
Okay. Mary, any question?
None from me too.
Okay, great. Now, I'm going to ask this question and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We host this webinar every month. So please be on the lookout. And of course, I want to believe it's been an amazing session for us. We've learned one or two things as business owners, as individuals, and how we can harness data to move to the next level. My question will be, what is one thing aside from data, aside from analytics, that a business must focus on to thrive in 2026 and beyond? What is one thing aside from analytics that the business must focus on to thrive in 2026 and beyond?
AI.
AI, yes. AI is still part of data. AI and data, they are hand in hand. They work hand in hand. So yeah, I would partially take AI, but AI is still part of data. Any other thing you want to talk about? Okay, let me come in briefly. A business that will survive in 2026 and beyond must also develop the thinking skill. The thinking skill because AI analytics will do a lot of the works you are always doing manually before. Hey, I want to enter this data. Hey, I want to do this. AI can help you do that. Analysis will help you provide those insights and you are good. But the thinking now will have to come from you. AI will not think for you. You are the one, it can think for you, but creatively to some level, the level that will make you, big and successful, you need to be able to critically think and position yourself ahead of other businesses. And that's why thinking will be one thing that everybody, not just business owners, as individuals, who must ensure will increase our capacity to think. It looks simple, but please write this date down. Thinking will be, the people that will win in the future will be thinkers. Because the heavy liftings will be done with AI, data analytics and all that. But being able to think, interpret data, think critically, and then make decisions from that particular data, or even think to build a solution, because AI can even help you build that solution. To think and curate solutions will be very important. So I leave you with that. let's increase our thinking capacity, and then let's prepare for the future, because these are sessions that will be scarce when things change in the world. And I can bet you things will start changing very soon. And only those who are prepared will be able, like Noah, will be able to enter that canoe and will be able to get saved. Those that are not prepared, I'm afraid to say that it could be very, very difficult. All right. On this note, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's an amazing session. I hope to see us in the next edition next month. I hope you've been impacted, and it's been a wonderful session so far. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mr. Franco. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Do have a great